Welcome, welcome everybody. Brady from BGWX here. We are live for another breakdown stream here. We are going to be breaking down the winter storm this weekend and also breaking down the upcoming pattern and the storms ahead. So get ready here. It's going to be some fun. And hey, man, anytime we're breaking down the weather, it's always a fun time on here. So come on in. It will be a blast. And it's just so overwhelming, so much to talk about. So just come on in. It's gonna be fun. All right, let's get chat going here. Again, we are live on YouTube and X. Welcome, Michael. Welcome, Michael Phillips. Let's get the chat here for X going too. All right. Alrighty. Sorry for the little bit of a delay. I was having major technical difficulties with Google, and I had to like re-put in all of my information, and then needed to charge my laptop some as well. So we had a little bit, just a little, 15, 20 minute delay, but we're gonna have some fun here. We'll fly through everything here, and we're gonna have some fun doing it. So I again appreciate all the new subscribers. I got up to 650 subscribers, over 30 new subscribers here over the past couple days. So fantastic to see the growth. Gerald and I will definitely likely be live very soon, again at some point in the upcoming. So for those that want to be on the lookout for that, we will definitely be collabing again pretty soon, if I had to guess. Nothing's planned or scheduled for now, but Rosalind Thompson, welcome. I hope you're having a great evening. John, I hope you're having a great evening. Shout out John. He's a great moderator here. He's been with me from the beginning here, so awesome to have him. Michael Phillips, again, shout out to you, my man. Shout out, where we all from tonight? Where we all from? How? Where are my people at? As we'll get started here in a second. Shout out everybody on X again. We're busy here. We're busy. There is a lot to talk about. Jay Myers, welcome. Welcome, Jay Myers. Yes, this is going to be absolutely fire indeed, John. So very, very excited about what we got coming up here. Keep the music kind of going in the background a little bit lighter. A few non-copyright songs, so at least keep it going for a little bit here. Baltimore, Maryland. Shout out Jay Myers from Baltimore, Maryland here. Awesome. Alrighty. Let's pull up Weather Bell here. Again, with last night, we'll do a snow map tomorrow. Snow map grade. Obviously, it won't be successful, but most people's won't be successful after Buffalo. Shout out Buffalo. Oh, another Maryland. Shout out. 32 degrees and roads either wet and glossy here in northern New York. Shout out northern New York. Awesome. Maybe Baltimore finally gets something next week. Boston Sports Dub out from Western Mass. Let's do this. Buffalo Gang, NYC. Yes, yes, yes. Love it. Alrighty. Alrighty. Let's get it going here. Let's get our pen tool cooking here. Go Eagles. Hey, I'm with you, Jay Myers. I'm with you. Listen, not often will you get a Boston fan to root for Philly here, but I am definitely with you for this weekend here. I am 100% riding with the Eagles this weekend, especially with my man Gerald as well. Honestly, if they weren't from Philly too, they got a lot of pretty likable players. So, yeah, no Mahomes. I agree. No Mahomes. Boston, our Celtics let us down tonight. Yeah, it's fine. They won. They've been winning more recently, and they're on the road at Dallas. It's not an easy game. New York City, Connecticut gang. Shout out. Hey, shout out everybody in the chat here. It's awesome. Listen, we're busy. We're busy right now, and we're gonna be nonstop busy here. I got busy personal life. I got busy, busy weather life here. So, um, yes, no Mahomes. 5 to 10 inches in a Mahomes loss would feed he's on Sunday. Need the birds that say Philly, Kansas City, nobody else. It's all Eagles. I'm telling you, it's gonna be all Mahomes is terrible. I hope he loses. Listen, I respect Mahomes. He's a fantastic quarterback. I'm a big sports fan. For those that don't know, some don't care obviously, but I'm a massive sports fan, and I respect Mahomes greatly. I think he's fantastic, but obviously I'm a Tom Brady guy, so I'm definitely always, you're gonna root for the NFC team here with the Chiefs here too. Is the OZGFS just tripping? What do you mean? Like how it's like completely different from run to run? It's just I mean it's just how it goes. I don't know. Different runs, different variations, stuff happens. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about here. Sports and weather, yeah. Elite combo, yes, yes. Yes, yes. Definitely athlete sports fan weather combo. It's a definitely up my alley right there. Let's see. Agreed, Tom Brady best to ever play the game. Yes. I mean 7-time Super Bowl champion right there. That's a legend. That's a legend. Just didn't matter where he would have gone. Eventually he would have had success. So but Belichick and Brady combo definitely helped for sure win this. All right. Definitely. Listen, I'm a huge sports fan. That's all you need to know. Playing sports, watching sports, I'm all for it. So, but here's what we got cooking. So, again, with regards to today, yes, Tom Brady clears, John. In regards to today, again, let us know where you at. I love using sports references when it comes to weather. Yes, we use them all the time. You guys know that all the time. Keep let me know where y'all from. Where we all from in the chat here, X, YouTube. Love y'all, appreciate y'all more than you all know. So not just talent, saying the skilled smart. Absolutely, absolutely, smartest. Knew it in the ins and outs better than anybody else. I'm trying to be the Tom Brady of weather. Knock on wood. Not necessarily GOAT, just the precision and that kind of ability for forecasting. That's what I'm trying to do here. But today again, listen, we discussed it last couple nights. I did end up going with 2 to 5. I went back and forth between 1 to 4, 2 to 5 last night. I went with the 2 to 5 because it looked like there was some support for there to be, increase for shout out Jersey in the chat. It looked like there was a chance that front end thump was coming together. It looked like short range, high res models were picking up on it, and precip was actually looking kind of beefy. So I was like, you know what, I'll go with the 2 to 5. Again, notice I didn't go with that for New York City. New York City, I went coding to 2, and I went for that for a lot of Connecticut, and then northern Connecticut, Northern Rhode Island, and most of Massachusetts. North of far southeastern Massachusetts, basically around Norfolk northward. I went with 2 to 5. Most people were 1/2 inch to 2 inches. So, obviously a little bit of a bust, but again, wasn't super high expectations. So trying to, do Jay Myers getting better every storm on this past year, and I'm Joe Bastardi, old head, and Bernie right now. I appreciate that. It means a lot. Yeah, I'm definitely listen. I'm doing you get some crap every once in a while, but so does everybody. And listen, guys, I'm truly just trying to do my best before we really dive into the weekend storm here. And yes, I'll answer your question, Alpha. What's the Luca AD trade and weather terms? I'll answer that. Listen, guys, I'm just trying to do the best I can to forecast. A lot of people, think, also addressing like the ensemble mean maps. Those are ridiculous. Like, I don't think many people realize, no, they're not fantasy maps. A lot of people mess it up. They see those and they think it's a long range run. That's not what that is. That's a mean of all 50 members, which is makes them absolutely insane, the numbers we've been seeing lately. So that's what I just want to throw out there. I've had some, people say, stop posting these. They're irrelevant. You're just getting hopes up for nothing. It's like, this is an ensemble mean map. Like, you can do whatever you want. This is the mean of all the ensemble members. So whatever opinion you have, it's like, that's fine. But this isn't a single model run, and a lot of people are mistaking that. But I'm just saying, in regards in general, I want to do my best I can to forecast for y'all. That's literally, I put it on myself, not just for you guys, but for myself, to try to be the best I can to forecast this stuff. So I take a lot of pride in being able to do this. So, it's just, I'm trying to do whatever I can to be the most accurate I can for y'all. It's really a competitiveness with myself. Obviously that sports side of me, it's very important for me to push myself to try to be as good as I can. So trying to push myself in the longer range. If I want to be as good as, of a weather forecaster as I want to be here, continuing being self-taught, I have to continue to do more research, continue to pay attention to details at an insane level to keep getting better. And that's what it takes. You got to work at your craft. And that's what I really take pride in. So I appreciate all of you that are here along for the ride. I feel like we definitely continue to get better this winter here, and we're going to keep doing that. Starting to see some long range for that Japan teleconnection as well that we're talking about, and we'll talk about that later as well. Yes, the ensembles have been insane. Jay loves snow. Luca AD trade, I would say, man, it's like it's out to sea, and then historic blizzard. It's out to sea and then getting blizzard of 2013. That's basically what it's like. All of a sudden, within 4 days out to sea, and then getting a blizzard. Out to sea 3 days, and then getting a blizzard. That's basically the Luca AD trade equivalent, basically. If I had to put it in terms, historic trade. So let's break it down. Let's break it down this weekend. Again, keep throwing in your questions. We get new people coming in. And again, let me know where you're from. I love interacting with y'all. Let me know where you're from if you haven't said it already. Keep throwing in there, X, YouTube, wherever you're. Love interact. A lot of X people. It's perfectly fine. Whatever you want to do, stay quiet. Whatever, enjoying the content. There's a lot of you that I get that reply. Let's say every once in a while, watch your content, love it, and so those mean a lot. And the people that watch and don't really say anything, listen. No, you guys are just as much appreciating. I appreciate you just as much as everybody else. So it's amazing. Alrighty, here. Let's get cooking. Let him cook. Let him cook. Okay. So in regards, again, general setup, remember we have our ridge here to the south. That's our supply of moisture here for this. We're driving up warm air and moisture. Again, your cold air already out in place, out ahead of this event. So that's not the problem here. We're going to have very good, solid cold air in place. So interior places, fluff factor is going to be definitely present for the interior places. And then remember, moving from our latitude, so we have a strong piece of upper level energy here that's trended a little bit more progressive over the past day or two. And what's that's allowed is that's allowed that rain snow line to collapse more, allow that transfer to happen also a little bit earlier. So it's also slides a little bit more out to sea just a little bit, and continues to progress eastward here. So that's kind of what you're seeing. Continue to keep the music going in the background. And so what this is going to do here is going to allow for now maybe New York City, like I was saying. I've been saying New York City, Long Island, keep an eye out for this system. Keep an eye out. You may be able to get not just a front end thump, but a formidable front end thump. It will be, I'm telling you, the mix line with this storm, there are going to be some people who are going to be who are really going to get screwed. There is going to be a massive screw zone, because what you're going to see is that warm. I'll zoom in a little bit for you. I'll zoom in a little bit. What you're going to see is that warm nose initially. I'll just show the P-type map before. We'll do the upper level breakdown again in a second. 700. Some people are going to get screwed. So what's going to happen here is this warm nose is going to push up. And then, so our warm nose push, I'll go to eastern because I want to show you. The warm nose pushes up, right? This, here's your moisture transport. And from the primary, the initial low pressure, and you see this 1008 out here, this is your new low pressure system forming. And then so all the cold air then starts to collapse. The warm nose stops pressing and it stops and then slides out east. So just to the north, moderate heavy snow, you're going to get you're going to get a good chance to get at 4, 5, 6+ inches of snow. Just to the south, front end thump, it's 3 to 6 max. Front end thump, 3 to 6 inch front end thump max, at the max probably, and then you slot fest. So that is going to be, there's going to be a screw zone, and then just to the south of that, whoever's able to get on the good front end thump, then just to the south of that, screw zone completely. You get maybe an inch or two, 1 to 3, in a complete slot fest completely. Now it's a little bit different further east. This is why Long Island, I think, has a decent chance here. The further east you are, the better here with this system. Notice northern PA, sleeting. Cape and Islands, all snow at this point, right? Because remember, this transfer low here, this new low pressure cold air to collapse. So to stop proceeding as much. That cold air out of this system start to really take, be more formidable and take over here, and then you're going to start seeing those winds, off the ocean, then start to form, and that's where we're going to talk about coastal enhancement with this system as well. I feel like the GFS is a decent idea. This could be maybe end up being a tick further south potentially. Maybe not a bad idea. So generally, just a general idea for how this plays out. I think NAM is, I think it's just a tick too far south maybe right now, but it's certainly possible. And NAM is the way New York City, you're going to be. That's how you would get 5, 6+ inches of snow. This is also not really a great system in my opinion for the NAM. Not necessarily with the warm nose. I think it will be able to handle that, better than some other models, but. What I think the NAM will be struggling with is the general orientation. So I'm going to wait until we get closer with the general idea for the NAM. Until we get closer, it's still asking a lot of the NAM to be able, 2+ days out here, maybe a little bit more, 2.5 days out for the NAM to be able to kind of nail this. So that's asking too much of a sketchy model. It does tend to handle the warm noses a little bit, sometimes overdoes it, but it's closer to reality. And you saw that today with example. But again, today is not the same setup as the system. You can kind of see that here. There's today's system. You can see the orientation, much different. Upper level low this time is going to come in. It's more consolidated, the upper level energy, and it's going to drop in. That's the difference here with this system. So that is the main difference. So it's not the same system. So I really don't want, I know some people are like, here's another thing. A lot of people are like, we can't get a snowstorm, so it's impossible for the next one to do well. That's like the worst mindset you can have. Not like positivity or negativity. It has to be strictly analysis. That's it. It can't be, well, it hasn't happened. We haven't seen a good snowstorm yet this winter, so it's not going to happen. Let alone last winter or the winter before. If you're holding on to 2 winters for why you're not going to see a snowstorm, that's just not how the atmosphere works. The atmosphere does not care whether or not you had a snowstorm or not. 2 days ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 months, or 2 years ago, does not care. Jim Meyer said Boston rules earlier. Yes, Boston does rule. So remember, the atmosphere does not care. Does not care about whether or not it's Mother Nature. She's in control here. The atmosphere is in control. Does not care whether or not there was a snowstorm a day, month, week, whatever. It does not care. The setup is the setup, and that's what you're dealing with. You got to take it verbatim every time. There's general patterns, and then there's setups. Okay, and you have to be able to differentiate. That's close enough. Whatever. I'm not an English major. And you have to be able, to be able to decipher whether, uh, how the setup plays into the pattern and all that different stuff. Yes, Mother Nature is the one in the driver's seat, absolutely. So, listen, rightfully so. A lot of people get, emotional with this, with weather because they love it, which is great, the passion. But a lot of people ride the highs and the lows, and that can get tricky a little bit when you start. A lot of people put those thoughts out there, and then that starts to become like the general consensus, and it's like got to rewind it here a little bit, and get back to the, get try to stay even when it comes to forecasting. For me, that's what I have to do. You guys, you can, be as emotional as you want. It doesn't matter. But if you want to stay sane a little bit more, and don't want to induce yourself into a coma with with concern, stay even throughout this process, and kind of just whatever happens happens. Appreciate it when it comes, and if it doesn't, then you move on to the next one. But here, I think this is going to be a pretty solid event. Um, and I've seen some concern about this sliding too much. Um, you got to remember here with this, with the upper level energy. Again, remember, it's moving. It's the upper level energy is moving over us. Is the thing with this storm. That's the thing you got to remember. It So, right, so this catches up to the upper level energy out ahead. The orientation of the setup here, it's not going to allow for this to become so disconnected and so progressive that it like slides way under, or this gets caught so out in front that you miss. Something has to come through at a minimum. Okay, so you're getting snow with this system, especially for southern New England. You're getting snow for this at a minimum. Like at a floor system, you're going to get at least 3 to 6 inches of snow, like a solid widespread at a minimum with this. So that's one thing you have to remember here. This isn't something that's just going to completely miss, and go completely out to sea. So let me just put that out there, right now. So I just want to make that clear. And again, until we get closer, I'm not gonna start ripping GFS soundings here that take going 6 hour intervals on tidbits. Like I just think that's like that's one specific hour out of all those different time frames. And until you get to the mesoscale models and closer, like that's the thing. If you can't finish, here's my thing. If you can't finish the run with the mesoscale model, like if it's still snowing and you can't finish it, it's too far out for it to be solid. That's not like a perfect rule, but that's kind of just like a general idea, like to give you some perspective. Like for like the HRR, for example, like if it can't finish the run for the storm, then it's probably not. It's that's testing a lot. Just like you're testing the long range models for the globals, once you start getting hundreds of hours out, you're testing them. It's the same with the mesoscale models. It's a little bit different, but the same idea where the farther those go out, the harder it is for them to get it right, because the models are designed for short term forecasting. And the farther they go out, the harder it is for them to nail that. So that's what I want to, make clear with some of that as well. Um, in general idea for this setup here, let's zoom in. Zoom here. Let's go to 700. So here's the thing. I think we have setting up here pretty solid 700 millibar setup. There's pretty solid 700 millibar setup here, and there will be a close call for higher ceiling potential here in eastern New England. We'll talk about that in a second. So the evolution here, we'll go northeast, zoom out just a little bit more. So what you have here is that, remember, this is your primary low here, and you're driving right this warm air north, and just on the other side of that, boom, thumping heavy snow here. Thumping heavy snow on the other side. Upstate New York will make out fantastic. Maybe northern PA is going to be a really close call, especially northeastern PA too. Very close call it's going to be, I think, potentially. So we'll see as we get closer. Hudson Valley, again, will be a close call. Another place. I think though, as this starts developing, let me play it out before I give my idea. I think there's going to be double maximum for snowfall, but we'll talk about that in a second. And what you see here, then the transfer happens. So it might still be a little sloppy, but then this band comes over. But then what you're going to see here is the dynamics start to reconsolidate here in eastern New England. And watch what happens from this frame here. You see what happens? Boom, here's hour 54, and look what happens hour 57. Boom, look what happens. You see how 700? Boom. absolutely ripping now in eastern New England. This band consolidates here offshore. And so now here's the thing, regardless of how well consolidated this part of the storm comes, um, you're still going to get that main band to come through, and it's still going to allow for at least 4 to 8 inches of snow likely in southern New England to come through, in my opinion, for most of it, especially like east of here. Like I feel pretty comfortable. Sorry, I'm drawing on it too much. Like this general area here, I think is a very solid bet for at least 4 to 8 inches at a minimum. Kind of, again, I'd say that right now the floor is like 3 to 6 in a very bust scenario where you really saw this thing, you're unable to get that convection far enough out in front of the upper level low, and it's delayed too much. That's the most extreme scenario we would see, in my opinion, where this turns into more of a 3 to 6 rather than 5 to 10 plus. But what we see here is, if this starts getting going, the earlier we see this consolidate here, and it's tricky. Remember, still a little bit of a progressive flow, so I'm not necessarily favoring this right now. But regardless of it, all the models are depicting 700 because the upper level low is strengthening. The low pressure system is strengthening at this point. I mean, you can take a look here. Boom, here's the 6-hour interval here. Look at this. We go from, it's going to take off. It's going to go from a 1012 to a 1008, 1004, 1002, 999, and continuing to intensify. So it's going to drop, a good amount in a short time. So you're going to see, but remember, it's a little bit progressive, the orientation. So strengthening low pressure. So what you're going to see is that bands start to consolidate and then slide out. And the question is, I'm glad you love the stream, Matt. I appreciate it. Yes, we'll talk about Long Island here coming up here. We'll definitely answer all you guys' questions that you have in regards to this storm. We have a lot of Long Island people always in here, which I love. So right in here, then we start looking at that potential for those 700 millibar dynamics start consolidating, and especially basically Worcester County eastward, Talon County eastward, Connecticut, northern Rhode Island. And this is where this band could start to consolidate. So you get, as the band from the initial primary low starts to come through, then this starts turning into the next band, and you'll start to see this start to consolidate. You can see it already starting to form here, and then watch what happens in that next frame, hour 57 here on 700. Boom, right? Boom, all of a sudden you got your ripper of the band. So you can see what happens here, right? This band these dynamics here help consolidate 700. These two right here start coming together, and you'll see 700, reconsolidate again. And that's kind of the idea there. And you can see 852. Look at the 850 ripper of 850. So that, your band comes through here, and you get significant, snow band that comes through, and then you get that really good fluff factor too out in the interior. That's why I'm not too concerned with these areas. I'm not too concerned with these fringe areas. Precip shield's going to be able, I think, to do solid. The only way we wouldn't do solid out there, and I'll say why I think we'll do and why we won't. I think we do solid because, yes, I think Plymouth is in a good spot for this storm, Brandon. And the reason I say that is because, remember, still progressive nature. It's not necessarily where your band's coming together, clean, perfect. Not some, complete death band that sets up and pivots, and because of the progressive nature of the storm. And then that's going to allow for at least, this snow to keep flowing out ahead north. Off the initial band, you'll see that snow continue to go, and although drier, you'll still be so cold throughout your column from the top of the atmosphere down, meaning your snow ratios are going to be very good. It's very good. 0.2, 0.3 inches of QPF out here is going to be 4 to 6 inches of snow all day long. That's all you need to get. A couple tenths of an inch, a quarter inch of QPF right out in this area is going to be 5 inches of snow. I'm not too concerned about these areas still making out. I'm not the jackpot in my opinion right now, but still going to be able to make out pretty well. Now, the only way you wouldn't really is if you were to see 700 consolidate much more. If you were to see this 700 energy consolidate much more and be much more amplified sooner, and I think there's kind of a limit to that. I don't think we were going to be able to do it too much more than what we see now, from the GFS and the Euro currently. I think there's a pretty strong limit to that, and so this is what makes me think that still going to be able to get these precipitation to get out here into central New England, and then these areas in here are going to be ripping in moderate to heavy snow. And then especially now that easterly flow too, I mean, I'm telling you, I think eastern New England here is really going to make out well with this. I really like this. I really like this area right here with this. So that's why I think double maxima. I think a double maximum we see here. Especially these higher elevation places where ratios are going to be fantastic in the interior, eastern, and central Mass. Are going to make out fantastic. I think in this with ratios. Again, it's not some major, we're not talking 18 to 24 inches of snow, but for what the event is. So that's why I think 5 to 10 inches plus in these areas is definitely possible. And again, I'd say a good 3 to 6, 4 to 8 floor here with this. And there is the potential for more there, where there is some 12 plus potential here. There's a little bit, but just with the amount of QPF we have, you take a look here with this system. And again, not until we get closer, like I said. Remember, I put those tweets out there. Those are the exact thoughts I'm going to go over on stream. Those are the exact thoughts. So when I put those out there, it's literally like me talking on stream. That's kind of how I view those. And so pretty solid QPF actually here on the GFS. Very solid actually. If this were to verify, I would say then yes, the higher ceiling are possible. It might be overdoing it a little bit though. I mean, here is widespread. You get 0.4 inches QPF out here to even almost 0.8. And I think we may be more of a, 0.45 to 0.65-ish kind of in the QPF range. And that would be 4.5 to 6.5 inches at 10-to-1 ratios for snow ratios. Meaning for every 10 inches of snow, there's 1 inch of liquid. And so a half inch of liquid would be 5 inches of snow for the average. But here we're going to be talking 15, 20-to-1 ratios, especially for the interior. And that's going to allow you to be able to really, make out well. So a half inch of precip could be 10 inches of snow. So now we start talking more than that. That's where, it starts getting, maybe a little bit more. And the only way where we can maybe surpass that is once I start being able to really deep dive into, let those mesoscale models get closer into range, and then be able to identify those key features. Like we look at those soundings all the time. Remember, we pull up those soundings. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up quickly. I'll come back here in a second. Those soundings, for example. Just take a random sounding, for example. Oh, I'm too far out. For example, right, we take these soundings. I want to be able to look at, this is not this storm, by the way. This is random 250 hours out. I just clicked it. We want to be able to look at dendritic growth zone. We want to be able to look at how well saturated. We want to look at that temperature. We want to be able to look at all these things, amount of lift here in the dendritic growth zone. We want to look at, upper level cold air following this. So there's a lot of different factors that go into my snow maps. And when I look into making those, the ratios are the most important part. How much precipitation do we have to work with? And then what are those ratios going to be? And those are some factors that could allow, if you have enough lift and you're cold enough, depending on where your dendritic growth zone is in the atmosphere, then that could allow for there maybe to be even higher ratios. And that's where then I would say, okay, then maybe more than 5 to 10 plus is possible. Even then the plus allows for some isolated higher totals. So if I were to go up, it would be more of a 6 to 12. That's where we would be elevating to. I don't see myself being able to forecast more than that at this moment. if I were to kind of budge. For now, I'm thinking 5 to 10 plus. That's where I'm going to go with this for now. Again, that double maximum here up, especially in the Catskills up here in New York, I think they're going to be able to make out pretty well. And then another area here in eastern New England, I think that's kind of where I kind of land with this system with the most snowfall potential. And then front end thump New York City again, super close call. Northern PA, super close call. But again, New York City. This is going to be such a close call. The difference, I'm telling you, the difference between New York City getting 6 to 8, 3 to 4, and 1 to 2 inches of snow is so slim right now. Those margins are very, very slim, in my opinion, right now for New York City. I still think you're going to be able to get a decent front end thump as of now. So I think New York City should be able to have a good shot to be able to get several inches out of this. A good chance. But I'm very low confidence. I don't have great confidence when I say that. But you will be able to get that band that comes through, and we'll see as we get closer what that warm nose looks like. In Long Island too, I think Eastern Long Island, I think you definitely get. I think Eastern Long Island is definitely gonna make out here with a front end thump. I think Central Eastern Long Island. I think you guys make out. I think you guys are gonna make out fine with this system. I think you have a good shot regardless of getting that front end thump. Unless we saw this thing really amplify up again, then I would change my mind with that. But for now, I think Long Island's going to be has a really good shot to get at least 2 to 5, 3 to 6 inches in Long Island. All right, let's get some questions. Yes, I put Plymouth Circle. Me personally, I think I could either see 2 to 6 in Nassau County or probably closer to the 2 to 4 range. Yeah, by Western Long Island. Yeah, Western Long Island's a little bit different. It could be a close call. Northern and eastern parts of the island was where I'd favor currently right now. Let's see. Yes, LA got the huge blizzard. Yes, the trade. Mother's Nature wanted to drive. See, yep. Love the stream. You think Long Island gets shafted again? Says Matt. I think Long Island is going to be Western Long Island. I think that might be where you are. It might be a little bit tricky, but places further into Central and Eastern Long Island, I'm more confident should be able to get at least several inches of snow as of right now. Again, listen, I've had the same thoughts for kind of a couple days now in regards to this system. I'm relatively confident to how this plays out here. I'm relatively confident. Hello here in Bel Air, Maryland. Oh, I know where that is. Out there in northeastern Maryland. Yeah. Someone else on Twitter's from there. That's how I know that. Are we going to get snow or ice or just a mixed bag of it this weekend? I'm assuming you're asking. Again, I think that kind of shows it depicts it pretty here. Well, yeah, Slim Pickens to be able to get really, and you go from a mix of snow and sleet to then freezing rain out there in Maryland. And there is more significant freezing rain, like actual ice storm potential, I think, with this potentially, because remember what's going to happen here. Remember that cold air collapses that rain snow line, but not before it still pivots. Remember, the transfer takes over, still holding, so that warm nose still pushing through, and that cold air, though, at the lower level still pressing. So there's definitely some freezing rain concern here, in regards, Allentown, Bensalem, Harrisburg, Hershey, Philly, Trenton, Atlantic City. It could be more rain along the coast potentially, especially once that wind starts coming. If wind starts coming off the ocean, maybe coastal portions can make out a little bit better for ice concerns. Not too many people love the freezing rain, just for hazardous impacts, but there is definitely I have some concerns here with this area, and that would, yes, include northeastern Maryland. I am very, very, I am, definitely very intrigued, and not necessarily in a great way, about the ice potential again with this system. And again, last time it was the timing. With this today, that's why the timing. It was not necessarily the amount of ice; it was the timing. You don't need a lot of ice for concerns too. I saw it today myself personally. There was a big accident on my way when I was on the roads on the other side. Luckily, not where I was driving. Had another person I knew get into an accident today, so completely totaled their car. Sent me a picture of it. So uh, yeah, it's timing was what I was concerned with today. And here would be more so accumulations, for example. I don't know what it looks like on this run here specifically. Surface, winter. So give me, I like the Fram totals better, but so that's, that's over. They always overdo it on these, but a tenth to a quarter of an inch of ice is definitely at least possible here this weekend, and that would definitely cause some problems. It was really not many people saw more than like a tenth of an inch. This has the potential for maybe a little bit more. Newport, Rhode Island. Ooh, that's a good one. I think Newport. You look at 850, Michael, with 850. 850 is going to come to. It doesn't matter what model you look at here. You can look at Euro as well. I mean, look at the 850 banding that comes together here. So I think southeastern, a lot of people in southeastern New England should be able to make out fine. If we really saw this thing amplify again, then I think that would raise some concerns. I think 4 to 8, 5 to 10, and in even for coastal areas in southeastern New England, that's kind of where I would lean for now. Some around that range. Yeah, I've been I mean, I'm just kind of looking at this now, so it looks like 700 comes together pretty nicely, though, especially from 18Z. Yeah, comes together pretty nicely. A little bit still fat, continuing to get, but oh, that's nice. That is nice there. Let's look at 500. See what the euro did. Manchester, New Hampshire. Yes, Bobby. I just talked about. You might have just missed it. Man, the reason why, before I go in again, I have a lot of interior people. So a lot of interior folks that I know get concerned here. But I tell you, I say you shall not worry. Interior places, you shall not worry. I think here's why. The fluff factor out here, you're not going to need much QPF. I'm telling you, out here, you're not going to need that too much QPF to be able to make out well. 0.2, 0.3 inches of QPF is going to get you 4 to 6 inches of snow. You're going to have, it's going to be like 20 to 1, like 18, 20 to 1 ratios out here. You're going to be cold. You're going to be cold in your column out here. Cold. Now, the only thing that could limit that maybe, we'll have to look at the dendritic growth zone as we get closer. Make sure there's at least that's somewhat well saturated. That'd be the only thing limiting my potential. So, but that we won't be able to look at until we start getting more towards tomorrow night. We can really look at those mesoscale models. That's when it will become a bit clearer, because I mean, this comes in, late Saturday night, Sunday morning. It's kind of the timing for this system. So I think Manchester, New Hampshire is in a decent spot for this system. Yes, I still think you're going to be able to get 3 to 6, 4 to 8 out of this out there. I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried about now. Again, I don't think you're in the highest ceiling spot here, Bobby. But I do think you're going to be able to make out pretty solid. So let me slide here to 500, and then we're going to go to, let's take a look here. 18Z. Oh, yeah. We like that. Look at the upper level energy. Look there. A little bit better put together. I like that. Still a little bit, just a little bit better organized. A little bit better organized there. Just a little bit faster again, maybe though. Maybe a little bit faster, but again, not too many. There's really not too many significant changes. You can look at the P-type map. There's not going to be too many, and see that General idea still the same, pretty much. Not really all that different. Again, continuing just a little bit faster with the system, but low pressure is really generally about the same place. Well, 1 millibar stronger, 700 kind of idea is about the same. And can look at the snow map. And again, here I'm still intrigued with this. This is where I think some coastal enhancement can come into play. This is where some coastal. This is where some of these areas can start making out. I think okay, even up here towards coastal Maine. I think this is kind of an interesting opportunity. You start getting that flow off the ocean, and that's why I think Manchester will be able to do all right, Bobby as well. Once you start getting that flow, off the ocean too, this is where Eastern New England's going to be able to make in, I think, pretty well here, even after potentially the main. And again, I want to see those soundings. I want to be able to start looking at those as we get closer here because this is the back end of the storm. So that's still 60 hours, 60 plus hours out. So it's still kind of a good ways away. You kind of see it lingering, some ocean enhancement. So again, stacks up very nicely still on the euro. All right, same idea with all the snowfall maps, and it was a little bit more earlier today, but it's I was never I haven't been really advertising 12, 13, 14, 15 inches with this. Been saying it for a couple days now that 5 to 10 was the idea. Waltham. Oh, great spot. Waltham's in a great spot. I'm very much thinking 5 to 10 right now for Waltham. Very much thinking 5 to 10. You see that? I mean, look at that. You can see the bulk of the precip is way far south here. Look at the QPF on this. And again, the dendritic growth zone, like I just said, that's a key factor. It's absolutely a key factor here. So I don't want to, if you're not well saturated, then the Kuchera maps can overestimate your ratios for sure. But that flow off the ocean should be able to help saturate, I think, the column a little bit better, especially these places here in New Hampshire and Maine. I mean, yeah, I mean the Euro's getting like it's 0.4 inches of QPF, and you're still getting like 7-8 inches because you're talking 18 to 20 to 1 ratios. So it's like 0.7 inches down here. The Euro's pumping a good amount of QPF still, but it's like a half inch of QPF out here, and it's still pumping 8 to 10 inches. Right, your fluff factor in the interior is going to be great. So it's really again another solid run here on the Euro for this weekend. Not a bad idea, I think either. Not a bad idea. Okay, let's read some more spots here. That's what I'm saying about the ocean enhancement, Eastern New England. Yep, Euro looks very robust for this weekend. Beautiful OZ run, yes, solid. Yeah, I'm in Western Long Island, says Matt Dirk. Okay. Thoughts of the Berks with the typical 6 to 12 in the Valley, 4 to 8, of course, 5 to 10 elsewhere. I'm just talking about Mass. Yeah, not a bad idea, Western Mass. Not a bad idea there. What has more potential, this storm Saturday night or what the models are struggling with for Wednesday, Thursday? More potential. I would say next week has more potential, higher ceiling. Just with still uncertainties on the exact orientation of the upper level look, that energy is still not ashore yet. In fact, our energy is coming ashore like just now for this storm. The main our upper level energy is just coming ashore. So next week's energy is not even upper level profile, 500 volt. Still not. Yeah, I can show you that. Still not even on shore yet, and won't be. But it doesn't even come on shore until next Monday. And then the next system doesn't come on shore until like Tuesday, and some of it into Wednesday even. So it's gonna takes its time, but man, are we gonna get going here? I'm telling you too. A mid-month, there's gonna be a big storm mid-month. I'm telling you, y'all gotta be on the lookout for that. But look at that, Jesus! Trying to get the Euros, trying to get the interior going here next weekend. Look at that. Let's see. It's the weekend system. Yeah. So, like I said, we can we have more questions for good stuff, Bobby. Yes, very welcome. Um, keep asking questions. Whatever about this weekend. Keep throwing those in there, and we're gonna keep going in depth on it. But let's start talking about next week as well, because we have a lot of questions in regards to that as well. Now, here's the thing. Like I just talked about, the upper level energy, still not sure. So good segue, Bren Callaway, I believe. Yes. So good segue. So again, with these storms here, they're turning into strong upper level. And you can see, look at these things in the North Atlantic, strong storms they're turning in. And on the backside here, you can see it's going to wraps in, right? We're wrapping in all this cold air now. So this is getting out ahead of our systems. You can see this like confluence tail from it, and high pressure gets out ahead. And then this, whatever comes together, then comes this way. So it's hard to say exactly. Again, I think the general idea remains the same. I may be pivoting slightly south from where I was initially. So maybe a little bit less. I think I initially had like more up here, and I think I'll slide it a little bit further south. And I think we're maybe more working into this area now for next weekend. Or sorry, for next week, next Tuesday, Wednesday. And it's looking like it's going to be multiple storms. Remember, we talked about that last night. Is it going to be, or even the night before, maybe two? Is it going to be one or multiple? Depending on the upper level energy. And it's definitely looking like it's going to be multiple storms next week. And the second one looks like it's going to pack more of a punch than the first one. The first one now still has a pretty solid look, and I'll go to the Euro AI for that because I think it's been consistent, and I think it's had a better handle pretty much on all systems in the medium range. So I'll kind of lean towards, showing you that. And you can see it still has that general idea here of this system, still you can see wavering back and forth. It's not like a clear consensus idea yet. Kind of going back and forth. You see wavering run to run. No clear consistency quite yet in the upper level energy. And notice it's more Tuesday night, Wednesday versus, Tuesday, Tuesday morning, Tuesday night. And your AI has a pretty beefy system along with it as well. But still, again, being pressed down from the high pressure. So we have this high pressure out ahead here. And then remember, what I like about this system is we're digging. So now we're going to tap deeper into the Gulf of Mexico and off the Atlantic here. And what's going to allow for that is that moisture transport to get pulled up, meet that cold air that's in place. That's where you create your magic out here in this area, Ohio into Ohio Valley and Mid Atlantic and Southern New England. That's where I'm focusing right now. That's the area where I just circled. That's 100% where I'm focusing with this system. Still some wiggle room with this for sure, but it's definitely looking like there's the potential here for 4 or 5 like a widespread 4 or 5 plus inches of snow right now, and we're still pretty far out. So I'm not going to go into those higher range stuff until I see enough to suggest, because the orientation of the upper level energy can make a big difference on how strong the system is. That's why I'm not going all in yet on Tuesday, Wednesday. Now beyond that, definitely some pretty strong potential there. So then we look at another one for Thursday, and you can see the upper level look for that. Yeah, a little bit more classic here, strengthening upper level low. So I would love to see if we can continue to press on that just a little bit more. Friday. We'll see about that. And then after that, then there's going to be I'm telling you, there's going to be powerful. I mean, we could see three storms next week, maybe. It might be three storms. Yeah, like there's certainly potential that there could be three storms next week. Look at that run. Oof. Oh, jeez. Things I would do for that. Certainly potential. You can see Euro AI now starting to get onto this now as well. I'm telling you, we talked about that Japan teleconnection. So basically, we were looking at Japan and how they had their big snowstorm out there. And now what we're going to do eventually, can I show this? Let's see here. I'm going to go back. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's your disruption in the flow. And boom. Yeah. This is when things definitely start getting interesting here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So again, mid-month, I'm thinking I'm still, they're trying to maybe lock on to this time frame here next weekend. Models are trying to maybe start. You can see it on really all the models now. I mean, ridiculous upper level profile there. That's super strong, obviously. And again, GFS, super strong upper level profile look there. There's definitely, like I've been talking about, I've kind of been on this now for like three or 4 days, a few days, something like that. I don't know. There's mid-month too, right after Valentine's Day. There is gonna be a pretty impactful storm, I think. I couldn't tell you where that rain snow line is going to set up freaking 10 days out, but I really think there's going to be there's already ensemble support for this. There's going to be a strong storm, and there could be after as well. Certainly could be after as well. Like this pattern here, man. There is certainly some high ceiling potential with how this could play out. I mean, I mean, you can see that just storm after storm, man. Storm after storm. Just a parade, absolute parade. Again, with this pattern here, I continue to stay. Northern Mid-Atlantic and New England is where I'm favoring with this pattern here. Northern Mid-Atlantic into New England. That's where I'm favoring right now. Continue. Hopefully, Long Island gets their 5-inch storm. I hope you do too, my man. I hope you do too. There's a chance this weekend. I'm not going to get anybody's hopes up quite yet, Long Island, but the further, in my opinion, like I said, for this weekend, the further east you are in north and east, the better. Right now, that's kind of how I view it. Western part of the island, I'm still not as confident. Northeastern part of the island, especially, you start getting up by Montauk. I think that's where we start making out better. I think I'm starting to get more confident that 2 to 5, 3 to 6 is possible in central eastern Long Island for you. But yeah, this pattern, man, it just doesn't stop. In the middle, okay. You're in the middle there. I think again, listen. I'd be very surprised if you're not able to get a solid front end thump here out of this at a minimum. And you have a chance to stay all snow too. You have a chance, but I want to see it more on guidance first, than but before we get there. But again, with this pattern, northern mid-Atlantic, so basically like Philly northward in general, I think is the best spot. Is the best is where we're talking. In my opinion, is kind of the best. Is the best for this pattern. New England, especially. I mean, you can see it on the ensemble means. They're ridiculous. And rightfully so. The pattern supports it. Some ridiculous stuff to happen potentially. Makes me wonder what the pattern looked like in 2015. my weather telekinesis. Yeah. I mean, you had the polar vortex to the north of us in 2015, and you just kept reloading it. Just you just continue to have cold air in place, and you just kept making magic happen. So 2015 was special. I don't know. This will be a this will go down as a very memorable pattern for sure. People remember their February 2025. But once you start, I'm not ready to start saying this is going to be some historic quite yet. Those not ready to go quite on those lines, and the semantics of what defines, a historic pattern, so to say. There's a lot of different things, but we could be talking about February 2025 like it was Zeus. It wouldn't shock me. All said and done. All said and done here. Just you continue to have cold air in place here. I mean, I love how we're trending here. I mean, our high latitude blocking that we're going to have in place here is going to be fantastic. The ridging we're going to have in the Atlantic present, just gorgeous. I mean, there's just a lot. There's a lot to like about this upcoming pattern here. That we're going to be pressing cold air down. Continue to really press cold air, but also ridge, really work moisture and warm air up. So places here in the southeast are going to get screwed. I don't know about screwed, but just they're just not going to be they're just not going to be able to get too much likely, unless there's some variance. There could be one, maybe like one stray dog out there this month that is able to work out for them, but it's this area here and further. This area in here, that's where I'm looking at right now. That's where I'm favoring most. Could we possibly see a major? Do you see the major storm for the 15th and the 16th? Yes. Yes, we were just talking about that. I think there's going to be a pretty strong storm somewhere around that time frame potentially. I think there's pretty good potential for that to happen. Now, I couldn't tell you if Michigan's going to get an ice storm that far out. I have no idea on specifics. What I'm sticking to is there's going to be a strong low pressure system with big snowstorm potential for this area, northeastern part of the United States, come after Valentine's Day. Maybe multiple. Honestly, maybe multiple. Stuff. It's the bar I set for winter every year. 2015. Yeah. Completely reasonable. Completely reasonable. Boston sports. Alrighty. Let's look at the ensembles. But listen, here's another thing before we look at the ensembles. Especially if you're going to see snow here in this upcoming pattern, and you're like, if you're a couple storms in and you've done well, or you realize you're going to do well, appreciate it. For all those times over the past couple of years where y'all went ape crap, appreciate it. Appreciate it. Think about all those times you wish you had the chance to be where you are. Appreciate it. I know it sounds a little hokey. It's like, it's just snow. Come on. What are we talking? But listen, appreciate it while it's there. You don't know when the next one is going to be. So that's what I'll say. Guys, just appreciate it. Just appreciate it. It's not guaranteed. It is definitely not guaranteed. So just try to appreciate it when it comes, because it's snow special when you're able to see it, and there's nothing like it. So that's all I'll say. Don't take it for granted. All right, let's take a look here at the ensembles. Let's see. Question. Some of the totals they're putting out almost a half inch of ice. I mean, so far out, you can't really. I couldn't tell you how much if there's going to be an ice storm in Michigan or not. Sorry, Kendall. I don't have a. I don't. It's really hard to be able to forecast that far out. Nobody has any idea how much ice there is going to be that far out. All right. I mean, Jeff's is locked and loaded. If here's where I would be concerned if if you're going to talk about the lower end here. I mean, look at it. Every model on the Jeffs has it. Every model. 10-1 too. 10-1. Let's look at the mean. Look at that. I mean, the Jeffs is gorgeous. Look at the Jeffs come together here nicely. Well, that includes today. Sorry. This doesn't even include. Look at that. That probably included some of today still. Look at that. Boom. Gorgeous run. That's 10-1. The average is like 0.6, 0.5 to 0.7 inches of QPF here on the Jeffs. That's a very gorgeous look. Are these the models for that big storm? No, this is the ensemble members for this weekend in the Northeast New England. We literally were just talking about that storm for the north for later that I think is going to happen. It's just the thing is we're so far out. I mean, we can't pin down the details, right? There's too far out to be able to really identify whether or not there's going to be a half inch of ice or 20 inches of snow or etc. It's just very hard to be able, and that's what not the models are. That's not what they're designed to do. There's a signal for the northeastern part of the country for there to be a bigger storm during that time, starting to be on ensembles, and I think the teleconnection is there as well. But this is for this weekend, and we're going to look at the ensembles for this weekend and so on here. Going forward. Oh no! Don't be sorry, Kendall. We'll definitely be. I'll probably go into that again here in a little bit. So if you stay tuned there, I'll be talking about again. I'm not gonna lie. I do focus more. I'm not gonna string you. I do focus more on the eastern part. The eastern seaboard more. So I-95 from basically like Carolinas upwards really more where I focus. I am from Massachusetts, so we do focus a lot. I have a strong core of Northeastern and Mid-Atlantic followers, but I do listen. I answer questions for everybody, pretty much wherever you're at, especially Midwest, and I've done it plenty of times before for storms. So, but I did want to just preface that. So, but I do talk about Michigan as well from time to time. So, glad to have you in here, Kendall. Do not ever apologize for for not seeing it as well. I'm just glad you're in here. Oh, a reminder, please, if you don't mind, if you're in here, don't mind hitting the like. It's very much appreciated. Helps the channel grow, big time. If you're an X, just appreciate you being here. That's you being in there, commenting or not. It's much appreciated. So yeah, so here's the ensemble look here for this weekend. Gorgeous, really gorgeous. Again, that's exactly what you want to see here. From 18Z to OZ, couldn't have asked for much better of a. Really couldn't have asked for much better of a look there. Pretty gorgeous look. Let's go to Canadian. Check the panels first. Not as many Canadian members as the GFS. GFS does have 30 members. I believe the Canadian's like 20 or something, 24. It's because I chose the Canadian regular. Let me go to Canadian ensemble. Oh, I wanted to look at the panels first, but I mean, that's a solid signal right there. Look at that. I don't know. 0.5, it's a solid 0.5 to 0.7 inches of QPF, even on the ensembles. Solid, I mean, solid look there. Very solid. Yeah. Really good look from the OZ ensemble so far. We'll look at the EPs in a second. But yeah, a gorgeous look there. What was 12Z? Oh, that included today, so I can't. But yeah. Let's go to Euro. Oh, no. I want to look at the panels first. Go to Euro ensemble. Remember where you got questions, drop them in, whatever you got on your mind. So we're peeping through the ensembles here, and then we'll look at the fun colors on the maps down the road. Panel's still loading out here, but we'll get oh, whoa, whoa. These look fantastic. What am I missing here? Why aren't, I mean, I guess it's not too far off from the operational. Man, those are juiced. All right, 26 through 50. No, there's still a lot of solid freaking runs. 1 through 25 is a little bit juicier, but how much sleet, freezing rain looking like in Philadelphia this weekend? Yeah, a lot. Probably, yeah. Philly is gonna get the ice machine this weekend. It's looking like sea break path. Let's see, 18Z. Yeah, I mean, solid shift. I mean, up in totals for a lot of people. I mean, that's some from today's earlier storm. You gotta remember it. Looks like actually increasing totals for more. Does it look like any of the winter weather along the St. Lawrence River? Yes, there's definitely a chance for that, especially as it moves through. Um, go back to that in a second. Dun-dun. You'll definitely have some opportunities here, especially as we start getting into late next week into next weekend. You'll definitely have some opportunities here. But what was I gonna say? Dun-dun-dun. Are you getting snow? Have you seen any snow today by chance, or tonight? I should say, Rosalind. You will get some potentially as the system comes through after this weekend, and you should be able to get some this weekend as well, Rosalind, as well. That precip shield should be able to be pretty expansive. So, um, but in regards to, sorry, I was trying to see what was coming through on the P-type map. The lighter blues on the low amounts, correct? Yeah. So for this weekend, you're definitely not favored to see the most. Some lighter totals, but some accumulating snow is definitely possible. Lighter totals, we're not talking about anything really more than probably we're not talking more than 3 to 6 inches up there this weekend, but um, likely, I'll say likely, not talking more than about 3 to 6 up there in the St. Lawrence, but definitely, still, stay tuned for saw snow morning, late afternoon. Okay, you haven't seen any tonight. Saw with the rest of us. So yeah, so once we start getting into next weekend and late next week and beyond, you'll definitely have some opportunities. You think we could see snow in Florida again, like like we did? I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Or just at least not in the next few weeks. Highly doubt it. So getting into range yet? No, panels are still cooking. I do not think we're going to be able to, be able to manufacture some snow in Florida. Unfortunately, um, do we have any Floridians in here right now? Let's see here. See what the GFS ensembles look like for next week. Mhm. Definitely more. Just look at. I mean, this is a so much spread, so many different precip shields, different amounts. Just they had more snow in Florida than Michigan did. Yeah, yeah. Florida's, Pensacola's had a bigger storm than I have had this winter so far. Technically, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Member 22 enter the chat. Look at this thing. Oh, you know what I would do for that? That's like 2 feet in 6 hours. Oh, that's why I love looking at these, just for fun more. But also, you get a general idea for how many models are showing. Why isn't it? Come on now. Also, you just get a general idea for too much. You get a general idea for kind of what they're thinking. You think the warm air is coming back anytime soon? No, no. Like I said, this was not really calling for a warm pattern. It's calling for a variation. And holy mother, the Jeff's is oh, look at that. Right, 18Z still had some snow from the previous event too. Got to remember these 12Z runs here included today's storm, which was like 3, 4, 5 inches. This doesn't include that. This next it's already moved on from this storm, and it's still a 16-inch mean in 11 days. 15, 16-inch mean. It's absurd. It's absurd. Remember, this is an ensemble mean. So this is all the 30. This is the problem I'm having with people. They're not. Listen, you just gotta read the map. For some of my folks, listen, I love a lot of y'all, but some of y'all really just need to read the maps. Um, right. This doesn't mean that you're gonna get 10 to Sorry, I don't. Hopefully, I don't sound too mean, but I just want to get my point across. This is not saying that 10 to 16 inches of snow is going to come in the next 11 for everybody. That's not what this is saying. There's none of that. It's saying the average between all these ensemble members. So right, remember this is it. All these members, right? We're showing on this. So all these different members. You see how there's a different model run. It's an average. So that means with all the higher runs, all the lower runs that happen for snowfall, that's the median. So that's the average. You could see more than that. You could see less than that. That's just an average. And it's from the ensemble member itself. And it's just giving an idea of what it thinks of all of its members do. So it's in no way a forecast. It's just like it's a feel thing. It's yes, Matthew. Yes, please read the maps. Like it's not that challenging. It clearly says ensemble. And like before you like stop posting like fantasy model runs, it's not a fantasy model run. It's an actual ensemble mean. It's an average of all these model runs. So that's why like it's just you just gotta listen. Like Either know it's either ask a question to what this is, or read the fine tune print a little bit better. That, like, for a lot of people that aren't understanding these are not long range. Some people do post a lot of those. I don't really post those. I'll post every once in a while, like once a month. I'll post a long range fun one and be like, hey, here you go. Feed it to the wolves. Just for fun. But um, and then usually under I put no, not a forecast, context, just a fun, lighthearted post. But a lot of people don't like when you do that nowadays. They think it's just for clicks. When reality is, I look at it and go, "Ooh, that was fun." Um, that was fun. I'm sure people will enjoy it. I don't. It's not about. It's really. I don't care about how many likes I get on YouTube. It's different for YouTube because I want to keep growing here on YouTube. For X, it's like I put my analysis and my thoughts, and whoever wants to gravitate towards that, that's great, and I appreciate all the support I get on there, and I definitely would love to keep getting more followers and interactions with people on X for sure. But I'm not tied and I'm not tethered to it. It's not what defines me. How many likes and retweets I get is not what defines me as a person and how I'm gonna go operate my day to day. I'm not gonna let whether or not I get 100 likes on a post define my mood for the rest of the day. That's just not how I operate. That's for me personally. I don't get any satisfaction from that. It's literally most of the time like I have a thought in my head, just like I would do here on stream, and it just comes out. That's really it. There's no special. A lot of people assume like I try to like a lot of people assume too much. I promise I'm very simple minded when it comes to this stuff. I don't have any other intentions. But yes, these are ensemble snow maps to be clear, and they're very helpful for being able to decipher. You just gain feel over time. You gain feel over time. Yeah, oh my, Western Mass, yeah, for sure. Like you just gain feel over time on, what this means. Like you just like this is a suggesting that there's an opportunity for multiple several storms. That's another way of putting it. And it's also for all the people that don't like, I get a lot of people that say, I can't understand this. Can you please explain it? When I post all the 500 millibar charts. So like it's very easy for me, and then I can write also on it that this is clearly not a forecast. Or if it's like a joke of a post and I put like a funny GIF next to it, then like it's pretty clear that you don't need to look at that. If you're reading that and taking that as, oh, I'm getting 23 inches of snow, if that's your takeaway, I'm sorry, that's more on you. Like you need to have some level of ability to decipher the, like I can't take responsibility for the 7,500 people that follow me. I just can't. I love you all, but there has to be some responsibility for each person to be able to decipher the info. Now, if you're egregiously clickbaiting and like trying to play dirty kind of a little bit, so to say, that's a different thing. But there's not an intention in my bone that ever put something out and being like, oh, this is going to get tons of likes. That's not how I operate. I sincerely just love this stuff. I love breaking this down. Everything, the maps, the analysis, the models, all the different aspects. I just love it personally. But yeah, I mean, crazy town here. Crazy town with these means. It's the Euro. I was thinking all winter we've had south. We are due for a northwest one. We don't even really need a northwest trend here in Matthew for a lot of people. Where we're at with this is fine right now. Um, I think it's in a great spot for a lot of people. We don't need some. I don't think we need some crazy northwest trend with this storm. I'm glad I'm not on the side of getting the winds they called for this evening. Yeah, it's not good. Yes, the pinks, Rosalind. Yes, the pinks. Those were some of those pinks that show up. So that's just an easy tool for you to look at and be like, oh, okay, so there is a chance that we can get some decent snow upcoming here. That's an easy way to look at it. And if you know what you're looking at a little bit, and I kind of have some feel to be able, again, I'm not no crazy expert, but I have good feel to be able to recognize what this kind of means as an idea. Again, these aren't fantasy maps. That's not what they are. They're ensemble means of all the members going out a long time, and it's like, okay, over the next couple weeks, there's a good chance for a lot of snow. That's different from an operational model run where it's one specific run. As even though the operational runs are better than a lot of the singular models of the ensemble of the panels, that mean is a much better idea, or that that collective average is a much better idea, because anytime the ensemble members are different from the operational, that is a red flag for a system. Always, that's always a red flag for this area. At this point of the year, we got a lot more snow than we have had so far. Yes, I remember someone else who was in the St. Lawrence River Valley earlier this year saying, and I remember them saying they did not get that they hadn't had a lot of snow to this point. I think this was like a few weeks ago. I remember someone saying it. So, um, hopefully you can make out, somewhat well. Oh, this is the regular Canadian. Why do I keep switching it? Panels. Canadians all over the place for next Tuesday, Wednesday. All over the place. Has no idea. Has no clue. No freaking clue. It's definitely picking up. It's picking up on this. Next Sunday to Monday, it's picking up on that right now. This is probably going to be this is going to be a big mean. I got a feeling. Oh yeah. I don't know if it's high as the last one. It's probably not as high, but still, that's minus today's snow. Remember, it's minus today's snow, and these are still very very high total. So again, just a general idea. That significant snow is possible across the Northeast over this time. I live in parts of eastern Michigan. We hardly had any snow this year. There's actually grass showing. That's how low wants to know we are here. Oh, that's how to give an idea of how low your snowfall is there. Yes. I'll show you the mean for Michigan. Why not? Expand out a little bit. So, even just the general idea of the snowfall mean suggests, you're going to have some shots for snow upcoming here in Michigan. Even though you're not favored, um, you can look at the GFS ensemble mean, the Canadian, it doesn't matter. You will have some chances for snow upcoming here in Michigan as well. Just a week ago, I could see pieces of grass in areas. Yeah, I could see some. Well, we had like 1.2, I think, today, so that helped a little bit. But yeah, I'm at 21 inches of snow on the year now. So largest storm of the year so far for me personally, 6.8 inches back in January 19th, January 20th. Weather Twitter is in the winter is ruthless. Been around long enough to see it all. Yeah, yeah, I've been around enough to see kind of the transition too with a little bit. I was right in the transition period when I joined, so got to see kind of where this is progressed to. Read the maps. Yeah, I was thinking there's multiple chances of snow. It adds up. We start looking at models 10 days out that become fantasy models. Yeah, like the operational runs. Those are kind of just I hate necessarily saying fantasy for some stuff, because it's like There's some stuff there's actually good teleconnection signals you can use and potential to identify. So sometimes models way far out can actually do pretty well, but it's just the general idea is so far out you're not going to be able to pin down what's happening. So basically, any models once you start getting really more than a week out, oftentimes it's really hard to put too much. You don't need to put too much weight on that stuff that happens. Bridgeport, Connecticut, 1.6 inches of snow today. That's impressive. Oh, LaGuardia still had almost a half inch of snow today. Hmm. It's like I did well with the forecast there at least. Uh, yeah. All right. Let's see what the. Let's go to Euro ensemble. Let's peep these panels again. Oh, it's already almost out. Early heads up to be weather aware of the possibility. Yeah, just a general idea. But even so, even though those models are showing it, um, what made me talk about this. We'll talk about it again in a second. I'll show it. What made me talk about the mid-month post Valentine's Day storm potential was a teleconnection. It wasn't necessarily even the model run. And now you're there. You saw some, but now you're seeing more. So some of those model runs now are starting to show that the teleconnection I was talking about. So it's more driven by that than the fact that the model runs are showing it. Here's next. I mean, the Euro has a ton of northerly members. A ton. Look at that. It's not really buying into the whole necessarily mid-Atlantic thing. I mean, look at that, 26 through 52. Not buying into that whatsoever. I mean, one even almost freaking cuts. Huh. Euro ensemble mean is going to be fantastic. Euro ensemble, it looks a lot more. You see how there's like much more consistency than the GFS. Here's the GFS. Look at the GFS. All freaking over the place. All over the place. There's zero clue. Also, how is the GFS ensemble not finished yet? And the Euro it basically is. Come on now. Come on, GFS. Do better. Do better. Right. The Euro is the superior model though. And then there's the signal Thursday, Friday. That's a strong signal, man. That's a strong signal. There's 1 through 25, 26 through 50. Yeah. Strong signal for sure. Listen, my goal with listen, really what I would love to do is just jackpot one of these. That's really it. If I can, my goal, jackpot. I know this is going to sound. I would rather have one like 24 to 30-inch storm than like three like 12 to 15-inch storms. To be honest, right now, I want to see that one. And that may sound a little crazy, but I want to have that one. That one. All timer. That's where my mind's at right now. Non-weather analysis. My personal weather. My snow lover side. Hope you all are enjoying the live stream here tonight. It's glorious late Thursday night here. Again, we're breaking down all this stuff here, and here's that mid-month look there. Oh, that is a signal. There is a lot of members showing something, man. There is a lot. This Euro ensemble is about to be ridiculous. again. Holy, this Euro ensemble is going to be unreal. What is this thing going to look like? Oh, that's not even including today. Like 12Z, that included today's. So that includes today's. You still take off today's. Look at that. That's still a freaking 15 to 25-inch mean from New York City to New England, up into the Northeast. I mean, absurd. And, the Euro is, I'm not, regardless of what this showed, this could show 2 inches and I would still have the same point. The Euro is a superior ensemble just because it also the Euro is the best model. Yes, it does perform better. It's not as great in my opinion as some people put it on a pedestal as, but it is does score as the best model, um, just more consistently. Even though sometimes it's not going to be right, it's going to struggle still like the other models. Just over time, it will do better. Doesn't mean every setup it will though. Or sometimes maybe it does bad early and then does well late, or vice versa. So there's different, different different ways you can kind of score it, but it has 50 plus members as well. So it has more members than any other, so it can get, a higher range of scenarios to account for. And so that's, kind of what makes the Euro ensemble, regardless of the operational models as well. That was more the operational models that score the best. The ensemble has more to it than any other ensemble suite. So this is more than impressive. This is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. This is not even including that it's like you take off 3 to 5 inches of that's because that's what the models had 10 to 1 we're showing. You take off like 3 to 5 inches for north of New York, like New England, for all of New England and New York, basically, because that's what it was showing. It's absurd. It's absurd. And all it means is strong signal for several storms to happen. Would that be counted as around Valentine's Day weekend? I mean, we can show you. I'm telling you that mean. That's the mean for post Valentine's Day. For that this is like an actual mean, like already. This is 10 days out. 10 days out, and there's already like a 6 to 10 inch mean for interior southern New England into New England, and just basically interior Northeast already. Which it doesn't mean that this area is going to 100% get it, but the fact there's already this much ensemble support, this is actually crazy. What was 12Z? 12Z was actually even more. Somehow lessened in. I don't know if I've seen that before, but yeah, that's a more than impressive. I'm away 219. Oh yeah, that would be brutal. That'd be brutal, Matthew. I hope we get tons of snow. My flight to Florida is canceled 219. With aviation issues lately, I don't blame you on hoping your flight to be canceled. So fun. Whether or not you meant it to be funny, I took that as funny, Roseland. So I know it's the planes are not that obviously nuts, but just witty, Roseland. Well played. Um, don't even start. I won't, Matthew. Your flight will be just fine. That's, two, or I guess maybe three. Wasn't there another one in Arizona or something? I'm not going to get into it. No, no, no. We're not going down that. We're not going down that path. We're not going down that path. I stop myself early. We like that. See, that's one of the things I think that we do well here is we separate everything else. Every once in a while, little sports. Every once in a while, little life lessons. Every once in a while, we mix up just a little bit. But for the most part, on here, we keep it strictly weather, and we do it the same on X. And that's why I think it helps as well as we get around all the BS. No, but the possibility something get my attention to watch makes sure I'm prepared. So yeah, so I think that's one thing that helps is we stay pretty much strictly weather on X always. We don't step used to when I used to a while back, but I decided to continue to confine it more and more, and we keep it just strictly pretty much weather based. We keep out pretty much keep out of all that other stuff. Get off that subject. It's not that I don't have thoughts on all these stuff. It's just we keep it. Oh, Michigan. I mean, here's the Euro ensemble for. There you go. There's the mean during that time frame. The whole view there of the east. So that's a 3-day mean, by the way. So that's not all the way through. Alrighty. We'll go and do that. That's fine. Um, so yeah, there's the totals for Michigan for Valentine's weekend, I guess. See what the mean is here. I mean, that's really solid. You got to remember that's like 10, 11 something days out. That's a pretty solid mean. That's a 3-day, so that's 3 days. What that mean is. So over the course of that 3 days, it's a 5-inch mean in Michigan so far out. If I knock out to the 24 last night to be around for snow to great content user for 2 more months, and I'll have my meteorology degree. Well, can't excited for you to get that, Matthew. Be fantastic. Yes, I will. I always, for those that are curious on X or YouTube, I do pin the YouTube with the chapters as well, so you don't have to navigate through the X, and you can go through. So for anybody that wants to rewatch anything, these stay up on YouTube. They stay up on X too, but YouTube, I go in manually myself after, and I put chapters through. So for those that want to rewatch it, helps incentivize, right? Being able to watch it on YouTube, and also, um, right, because the more people that watch on YouTube, the more chance I can actually make at least, some money. Because I do work pretty hard at this, so it would be nice to be able to at least make something. But again, it's mainly for the passion. I'm gonna do this regardless. So whether or not I make money, I'm still gonna be following this stuff just as much. So that doesn't really take it away. But we are getting closer, being able to get monetized on YouTube. So the more people that watch. But yes, I do pin these. So if you listen, if you for those that are on X or on YouTube, um, if it doesn't bother you to watch it ever on YouTube, it's always greatly appreciated if you can, do it there. Just um, if you don't mind. If it doesn't, I'm not going to ask you ever to switch whatever, however you want to view it. It's up to you. But um, if it's ever not, just know that whenever if you're rewatching it or watching it live, um, and the YouTube chat is also a lot of fun as well, along with X. So yes, just a little bit more of a little personal insight to what we're doing here with BGWX here. What was I going to show? Oh yeah, should be fully. No. mean, yeah, it's still, yeah, it's a massive mean still. I mean, like Canadian is still absurd. It's objectively still crazy. That's just basically minus today. Yeah, it's going to be an active February. Holy, that model run was gorgeous. 18 ensemble member 18 Canadian. When you get a chance, could you show the model for the Valentines? Yeah, I just did. That was the ensemble mean. Here's the. You want the CMC? So I guess I can show you all the ensemble member means. Dun, dun, dun. We can only do a 5-day mean, so, but there you go. There's a 4 or 5 inch mean there, and for Michigan there on the Canadian, and centimeters. No, thank you. And there's another, 3-4 inch mean there on the GFS ensemble. Thanks as always. We'll be waiting for your tweets this weekend. Tweeting from Waltham, and I'll view the videos over your YouTube. That's very greatly appreciated. Only joining the stream because I checked the weather app and it shows 11 inches for Philly on Tuesday. Yeah, I would not guarantee 11 inches of snow for Philly on YouTube. Definitely Philly's at play for this weekend. So for from a man, or sorry, for sorry for Miss Kendall Bailey. There's the ensemble mean for Michigan, and then so I was just showing you that, showing for all those different runs, and then Alex Philly. So with Philly, for next Tuesday, Wednesday. Here's the thing. So the storm winds up, and there's a couple different factors that are still at play here. Question is, it's really messy here. The upper level profile. I'm gonna go back to pink. Sorry, I'm a hot pink kind of guy when it comes to on stream here, but so the upper level energy is still pretty messy here. So, and this doesn't come ashore until like Monday. So you're going to see a lot of different don't listen to the P-type maps. Those weather apps, they're just an average of the P-type maps basically, and they're just not good. They're hot garbage. Those weather apps, those snowfall accumulations, they're never really that good. So don't worry about that. But this is kind of the system we're watching. How well consolidated, and how much the weekend system, the tail of the confluence presses down as high pressure comes in as well, and behind it, how much does this press on it? How much does this back off? That will define how far north this is able to get. Currently, for Tuesday, Wednesday, this is where I'm favoring kind of right in here. That's kind of where I'd favor for now is southern New England into New York City down into DC. That's where I'm favoring for now with the system Tuesday, Wednesday, and there's certainly at least a potential for 4 to 6 plus inches of snow. I'd say, and like I say that as a widespread chance for a widespread chance for 4 to 6 plus inches. Not saying, remember, I'm not saying, oh, it's a 4 to 6 inch storm. It's, I guess theoretically it could be, 10, 12 inches of snow or something, for example. I don't know, but we won't know as we get until we get a little bit closer with this one. Right? We were able to tell you, like I've been saying for days now, this thing's coming. Um, but that doesn't mean we knew exactly where or how much quite yet. But I said there was a general idea. It looked like there was a good chance for 6 plus. There's definitely a good chance for 6 plus for this storm for somebody. Like a good swath, widespread swath. I'm talking, not like a local maximum. I'm not talking a jackpot zone. I'm talking a general area of like 4 to 6 plus is definitely possible. And again, where I'd favor, basically like, you know, DC, DC to Southern New England is where I'm favoring right now for that. So Philly's in there, I think, for this system. And then the one behind it, again, similar areas potentially again, but I would favor a little bit farther north for next Thursday. For now, I would say it would be more, Philly northward. Philly into all of New England is definitely for next Thursday, Friday. But it's still very far out. Yes, Thursday, Friday, there's one, and then there's another. There's probably going to be something Sunday, Monday next weekend as well. Typically, you don't look at 10 days out and be like, that's definitely, there's really good ensemble support, and also the teleconnection between the Japan snowstorm. Often, downstream effects usually tend to happen. A couple weeks out, and we're about to see that. So that hit 3-4 days ago, I think, that Japan snowstorm, and we're going to see that. That's about 10 days from now, so that'd be about 2 weeks. When the big storm comes, there's supposed to be warm air coming with it. Bigger storms do. So, like, the deeper your trough digs, the more your storm digs, and the stronger it is, the more warm air it does pull up with it. But on the other side, that's where that cold air is, and that's where you create, big time significant winter weather, for example. Or if it was, over here, that's what would happen. And you'd create, a big time winter storm. It's the idea of, warm air meeting that colder air, and in between there, you see that that winter battle zone set up, and just on the other side is very heavy snow a lot of times in those big storms, and sometimes historic ones, depending on the setup. Late next weekend has it led 16th to 18th has massive storm written all over it, though. Like I don't typically say that so far out, but the teleconnection is there, and there's definitely some support for that. Yes, there's a weekend storm coming, and then another winter storm during the week, and then actually probably there honestly could be 3 storms next week. We might have 4 storms in about 10 days. Maybe 5 in like 2 weeks. We legitimately might have about 5 storms in 2 weeks, possibly. Like, this is going to be an incredibly active pattern here. Euro suggesting a cutter for next Thursday, maybe adjust next Thursday. Cutter. I feel like cutter gets thrown out a little loosely. It's an inside runner, not a full on. I mean, it's just that's so far out. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I guess it's kind of a cutter. You're right. I'll give you it. But even then, it would be a front end thumb probably. Here's the thing though. Look at that high pressure. You got a strong. You got a 1030 high run. I mean, come on. It's gonna be really hard to cut something. Really freaking hard to cut something in this. I don't think I don't see any full on cutters right now. At least not right now. Late next weekend, maybe. This thing, maybe. I couldn't tell you quite yet. Just northeastern United States, not necessarily northeastern United States. My local weather said that Michigan is in the battle zone for cold and warm. Um, yeah, at the surface, you'll probably stay pretty loft. That's possibly, but yeah, I mean, good luck. I mean, even after, I mean, if you're gonna have like a 1035 Canadian high out there, out ahead of the system too. I mean, it's gonna be a tough job to try to really send that thing in right through the high 2 times in a row. Like that'd be this to me looks like classic Euro amplification a little bit, just in general. That'd be really difficult to do. That's why Michigan has been seeing a lot more freezing rain lately. Well, with your upper level, it's a little bit different. It'll be a little bit different coming up here, but with today's storm and this one, look where your upper level energy is. So you always want to be typically, out in front, ahead, or to the north of your upper level energy, or behind it to the northwest. Just when you have a strong, upper level profile, and you can see Michigan kind of, under small, south of here, not favorable really. So that's why we saw like the mixed bag today. Right? Convection got out ahead, out in front, where the cold air was still in place, but the upper level energy is passing to the north here. That's why we're going to be warmer tonight as well. That's why people are going to be in the 30s. Cold air then comes in, later tomorrow. Cold air comes in tomorrow evening, and will be in place then Saturday. Saturday should be cold. And then look at it, the upper level energy again moving right over Michigan, right? You don't typically want to be right over it. A little bit different here necessarily for New England, but again, anytime your upper level energy is moving over you, you can see how it's intensifying right on top of you as well. Um, again, especially it's the first low, and then that transfer doesn't happen later. It's classic a lot of times why Midwest mixes and New England and this stays all snow, because that primary drives that warm air up, and then that secondary low forms, and that cold air then collapses. So stay all snow here, and you mix here in the Midwest. Little breakdown there of how that's happening. I wouldn't mind a good old 2013, 2015 blizzard coming up here. Wouldn't mind one of those. That'd be nice. Again, I keep mentioning it. Last time I saw a big blizzard was 2022, or sorry, 2015. A 2 foot blizzard was the last time I meant to say. Yes, the last 2022, last time I saw a big blizzard, but 2015 was the last time I saw 2 feet of snow. Haven't seen it since. I didn't see it in 2018, 2017, not in 2020, or not in 2021 either, or the 2022 blizzard. And we've had great winters here, so I'm not complaining. But the 2 foot streak continues here in Grafton, Mass, Worcester County. So the next big storm, you think it could be freezing rain or snow? Well, the next big storm is this weekend. So you see the upper level energy, right? You see it's moving over your area, so you get some. But look, it's Midwest, is like we were talking about. It's rain up here. Well, meanwhile, it's snow out ahead, out in front, that are placed in the cold air. So you'll see some snow this weekend here in Michigan. This is the next system that's of concern here. You will see some snow here this weekend. but the focus will be in the Northeast for sure with this weekend. And then after that, you maybe have a chance for something, during the week, during this week. So, keep it's certainly possible, but again, I would favor the Northeast with this pattern. I don't think this is a great Midwest. It doesn't mean you maybe can't get one cutter in there, or one transfer system, for example. This is a pattern where you would drive up, a storm, and you would get pretty big snow out here in the Midwest, mixed up here, Ohio Valley into up into the Midwest, and then again the Northeast. You get you see a transfer system, and you get big snow there. So if you get a big dominating high pressure over Canada, and that's one way you could get a big storm out there in the Midwest as well. I mean, same thoughts in place for. I couldn't tell you whether or not you're going to get any freezing rain for 10 days out. I'm not. I can't. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and BS you that you're going to see good snow. I think Euro will adjust with the high cutter, split my time bit, Waltham and Westford. Waltham wants a 2-footer. Wants a 2-footer, Waltham. I was gonna F-bomb it there, but I don't need YouTube. I don't need to give any reason to YouTube to demonetize or not to demonetize, but to not accept my application for monetization. I missed the 2015 winter. I was in Oklahoma City, different type of weather. Yeah, Boston. Yeah, Boston voice. Yeah, I can do a pretty decent Boston accent, but a lot of people overdo the R's. I was just talking about this with someone today. A lot of people overdo the R's, like pack the car. It's like that's not how. Nobody here talks like that. It's like no. It's like no. Do the park the car and have yeah. Like people try to do that too much. Overdo it. Simple. Combine the W and the R a little bit more, and that's how you get it. But sorry, missed the 2015 winter. It was in OKC, different type of weather there. Yeah, I couldn't tell you what OKC was like that winter. I think you could though, because you were out there. But yeah, it was a freaking great winter out here. Best I've ever seen before. Just locked and loaded. It was the best. I mean, that was the best Eastern New England pattern. It was the best Massachusetts pattern I think I've seen really. Worcester to Boston out here in Massachusetts was fantastic. So what was the Euro AI for this weekend? Let me take a look again. Slightly further south and east, but it's not too far off. How much QPF was it showing again? Also, it's not going to do as well with the specifics of the QPF here, so got to give it a little bit of a break. .4 to .5. Accent was great there, yeah. Yeah, I can pick up the Boston accent. It's pretty easy. I don't speak it, but it comes out too. Oh, especially when I F-bomb, it comes out hard. Comes out hard. What are the winds? Again, Kendall, we don't really have specifics yet for that storm for that time frame. Just so far out. I can't. I'm not going to be someone that BS's you or anybody else on here and be like, oh, it's gonna drop 10 to 20 inches here, and it's going to be 60-mile-an-hour winds. Like I can't, I can't do that. There's nothing, not enough to support that so far out. But if we do have a strong low pressure system, certainly strong winds are definitely in play during that time. But there's no really good idea on the winds yet. And here's the Euro AI there. Really liking Wednesday. I mean, it's really liking Wednesday for QPF wise. So we'll see there. And Thursday too, and then just keeps going, man. Look at this one. Oh, look at that. That would be. I mean, that would be your one. That'd be your 1+ footer right there. That'd be your blockbuster right there. Your AI's got it for the. Oh, holy mother Lord. Oh, when's that? This is the 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 Japan storm. That's what I'm gonna call it for now. I'm calling it the Japan storm. It's not directly from Japan, but this is the Japan teleconnection that I've been talking about. That would be something. I mean, what the frick are you there? I mean, at the 0, minus, -3, -6. I mean, you're like -9 in the interior here. Your ratios. I mean, you're -9 at 850 in the interior. There, that'd be. Oh, it doesn't matter. I shouldn't even talk about that. Just That's more fantasy. That's a fantasy statement right there. I believe it wants to, keep going. Doesn't stop the train here. Keeps it going. Can't stop. It's like that Will Smith, Paul Blart scene. Can't stop. Will Smith's trying to help Kevin James help him. Not Paul Blart. He's not Paul Blart in that movie, but Will Smith, Kevin James. Not one movie. Forget the name, but trying to help him dance. Just can't stop. Can't stop this. Storm after storm. Euro AI definitely likes. I mean, it's on board. On board here. So. Let's see, where was that from 12Z? Oh, come back now. Keep going. Couple more ticks back. Do it a couple more ticks back. Make everybody happy. There'll be more QPF. Mother Nature is trying to give possibilities of catch up. Yes. Again, St. Lawrence River Valley is such a St. Lawrence River Valley is really an obscure spot up there, so really a challenge when you have the lake effect so close by. But oftentimes you're in there in the valley. A lot of times more sinking area you have to deal with, and with elevation surrounding, it's oftentimes a tricky place actually can be sometimes to see good snow up there. All right, let's review for the weekend here. Mm, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All right. Let's review for the weekend here. Keep throwing whatever questions, comments, keep throwing them in there. Having fun here this Thursday night. Again, no, we're obviously we're not done. We're not done yet here. So, but I'm just saying for tomorrow night, we will be we will be likely be streaming. I will say I do have plans tomorrow night. So it may be so it will be the weekend. So as long as willing, I think we should be able to get still a good. It would be like a euro. It might be a later late night stream more tomorrow, like a real late night stream, like a start at 12:30 tomorrow night maybe. Because I do have plans as of right now for tomorrow night. So, but regardless, there would be a video. Regardless, we wouldn't miss out on anything. So, again, for those that are unsure, we do as well. We do YouTube premieres, and so you can come in live chat. When I don't live stream, I tend to usually make when it's active. I tend to make sure we'll make a video and allows you to chat and you can comment after or whatever, and we do that. But we will likely still good shot of live streaming tomorrow night. So, just timing, or we could maybe do it during the day, but I like 24 hours apart with the live streams. So, but here's the idea again for this weekend. Here's how we're not done yet. We'll wrap it up here after we break this down. But I think we have like a double maxima, and you could even probably like Burks alone kind of as a third special, but like cats basically like Catskills, and then maybe somewhere in the Burks. And then right here, kind of in Eastern New England. That's kind of what I like for right now. I don't like the Berks thing there. This is kind of where I like for a double maximum potential, kind of somewhere around something like that. Again, 5 to 10, 5 to 10 plus is what I'm thinking right now. In here, a general 3 to 6 still within this area. Long Island, 2 to 5, 3 to 6 up here. I'm gonna keep going back and forth. Oh, look how clean that ends up. I didn't even try to do that. That's incredible. Look how clean that line ended up working out beautifully. Um, so yeah, this is kind of how I divided up, and it's close call here to here right now. Very close call. Very close call. North Jersey, New York City. I think there's going to be at least some front end thump here, but I'm not. I don't have. This is one of those finer details here. I mean, such a small difference here. I mean, you got to give me some. You got to give us, whether people some leeway here. I mean, freaking like 30 million people live in this area. I mean, like there's a ton of people. Freaking 20-mile shift, and that makes all the difference. Like, it's such a minor. So we're trying. I'm trying at least. Do what I can, but that's the general idea for this weekend. That's where I stand now with my thoughts. I think the highest ceiling is in Eastern New England with this storm. Basically, Worcester County eastward. Basically, east of here. I think that's the highest ceiling with this. And maybe Berks, I guess, theoretically. If you're able to get into the best banding with, your ratios out there, you could do pretty well. So, yeah. That's basically it. You are doing good. I'm trying, Rosalind. I'm trying hard for y'all. Do whatever I can. So yes, we look again. So for most of you, if you're up right now on the Thursday, you're probably will be here tomorrow night as well. So if it has to be a very late night stream, then we will do a very late night stream, and we will do that instead of a video, and I'm perfectly okay with that. because we got a lot of action here to talk about. And then same thing Saturday night as well. Um, I don't know. I am going to be busy Saturday. I think possibly, but I think Saturday. I think we should be good for Saturday night to stream um, as well. Again, I'm very busy coming up, but snow makes me busy as well. So you got to keep the attention on that as well. And again, we're going to be active here live streaming. I wouldn't be shocked if I'm live streaming every night for like 2 or 3 weeks straight here. Would not surprise me. We might be back here every night for like 2 weeks possibly. So busy times up ahead, but this is where we can have a lot of good interactions and enjoy breaking this stuff down. So hopefully I can start nailing this stuff early, so a lot of people are like, oh, he knows his stuff at least, so we can get more and more people in here and just have a good time. So that's basically gonna do it. Hit the like if you haven't already. If you're an X, appreciate you. If you missed parts of the stream, you can rewatch it. I'll upload the chapters at some point over the next couple hours here. And again, likely go live late tomorrow night as well, and again Saturday night as well. So I appreciate everybody coming in, and